Welcome in to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast in the Marshland Media Empire conglomeration podcast takeover thing that is here to break down episode by episode, beat by beat, and sweat by sweat the Lucha Underground television series wrestling show. We are on season 3, episode 12, and I am Sean. How you doing, James?
Hey, I'm the other co-host. Sean, I hung out with one of your improv gods.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you hung out with... What's a funny answer?
Howdy doody.
Noted saxophonist from the Frank Zappa band, George Duke?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say like maybe a saxophonist from the Conan show. I don't know. That seemed a little... Because he throws to that guy sometimes and they're like, ayo.
I feel like they do know what they are playing, though. They're on television.
But like jazz musicians can do the shit. The best musicians are improv musicians as well. And then when they start writing, even better. Like in rap music, freestyle rappers are the best rappers. Am I right?
Hey, but that's why I said George Duke. He's a saxophonist who does it jazz style.
You also could have just been like, hey, who did you hang out with?
Oh, yeah. Who did you hang out with?
Jeff Garland came into the store.
Oh, okay. How's Jeff doing?
He seems good.
Hell yeah. James up top was like, hey, I got some luchador news. And I did not realize Jeff Garland has been performing as a luchador. That's so exciting.
Well, he came in doing Adam West Batman impressions, like right off the bat. Like he came in, did bits for 30 minutes, then bought truly a shit ton of old comics. And
hell yeah. Oh my gosh, Jeff Garland, that sounds weird and fun as hell. That's awesome.
I fear he was like, oh, that kid doesn't like me because we were busy. So like Lance and Craig were up front and he was looking for stuff that Craig knows about. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about 1960s Marvel stuff because I don't even think Ghost Rider was around because the comics code still put the dark arts as one of the things you can't talk about to be approved by the comics code. So weird. I'm not giving a shit about anything he's talking about. So I don't know any of it. Luckily, Craig was there and Craig, like he teaches improv. He taught you improv.
Oh, yeah, I love Craig.
So, yeah, I think also taught Torchy improv. The dude's taught a lot of people.
No offense to Jeff. I think Craig might be more of my improv hero than Jeff Garland.
Oh,
I'm just more familiar with his work. Shouts out to Craig.
Oh, what, you don't watch Curb on the daily basis?
This is super embarrassing. And if the listeners ever find out, I'm ruined forever.
Oh, no.
I think I've only seen 1 or 2 full episodes of Curb. I've never actually watched the show.
I've seen the first season. I was like, I don't think this is, maybe it ends up being more for me in later seasons, but I would have loved to tell him, like, I've seen every single episode of the Goldbergs, but I was like, that might be a touchy subject because he was written off the show. And I said that to Craig. I was like, yeah, I wanted to tell him, but I wasn't sure how he'd feel. And he's like, no, dude, actors, we love it. Do it. And I was like, no, but like he was written off the show. He's like, oh, wait, for like reasons? I was like, yeah, for reasons. He was just like being very rude and mean on set and stuff. And he goes, oh, yeah, that was a good call then. Yeah, don't bring that up. I was like, yeah, man, I know. So he was super nice to like he was clearly someone who maybe because in Hollywood he is seen as like a curmudgeon right now. He was extra nice to everyone and just like very fun. Truly did bits for 30 minutes, then left.
Interesting. Remembering, because I think you told me about this before, remembering that he was written off of Goldberg's for reasons, I feel less guilty for admitting that I prefer Craig as an improviser to Jeff Garland. Yeah.
Now, Craig was written off the Goldbergs, but that was for personal reasons because he's like, I don't get the 80s.
Yeah, it was mostly that he just did not understand the 80s.
He's like, I lived through that. It wasn't all that special.
I remember walking into class one day and him staring at a Rubik's Cube. And we sat like that for like 45 minutes until he realized class had started for like 44 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, it was a little scary. I'm pretty sure the Rubik's Cubes were the 80s. Yes, they were. All right. Yeah.
And then he goes,
this bit holds water.
he's like, man, that whatever happened to Robot Jones episode where he was figuring out a Rubik's Cube, I didn't get it. Also, because the style's more like a 70s cartoon. Why were they doing something from the 80s? Now, if the Rubik's Cube was created in 79 but didn't get popularized until 83, it's still in the lexicon of the 80s, jackasses.
Now, I know you have Luchador news.
Yes.
However, what the hell is a Robot Jones?
Whatever happened to Robot Jones? Dude, for a straight to Patreon, you come over and we will watch that show. It was a Cartoon Network show. It was beautiful. It was amazing and just captured the style of like whoever created the show clearly liked cartoons in the 70s. It was that.
Okay, this is going to be a really weird way to narrow this down. Did Robot Jones have like a red shirt design?
Yes.
And it looked very hand drawn.
Uh-huh.
I am freaking out because I am remembering Robot Jones.
Okay, whatever happened to Robot Jones is the full
Whatever
name of
happened
the
to
show.
Robot Jones? Thank you so much.
Whatever happened to Robot Jones? That is a thumbnail and a title I have seen multiple times on YouTube, guys. You're not being clever.
Yeah, get fucked.
Because in 2007, while talking to Tyler Wright at his home, well, his little brother was screaming whenever he had to stop this real quick. Whenever people would sneeze, he would say, "Bless you in the name of Satan," because I would do that. And Tyler would be like, "Stop doing that. Mom will kick James out." We would say,
Satan,
whatever happened to Robot Jones.
But seriously, whatever happened to Robot Jones? That show was very... we can't...
We'll do it for Straight to Patreon, guys.
We'll do it for Straight to Patreon. James, do you actually have Luchador news, or did you just want to talk about Jeff Garland and whatever happened to Robot Jones?
No. So, there is a Luchador licensing publishing company called Masked Republic. They team up with luchadors, and it's like a management company pretty much, where I believe this is the correct thing. They license out their likeness, whatever, to companies to either put on merchandise, television shows, etc. But they recently started up a comic book section called Masked Republic Comics. I saw the comic and I sent you a picture of it. They have started something called the Luchaverse, starting with Catalyst. And in this first issue, it is telling a story of Rey Mysterio Jr. and, man, I practiced this name many times, Tenia Blas Jr. And both luchadors. This is the first issue. It's going to be 3 issues to kick off this Luchaverse. The second issue, dude, I'm excited for you to read it. The star of the second issue is going to be the Lucha Brothers.
Let's go.
I'm very pumped for that. I'm subscribed to that. But more importantly, there will be a 5-issue series just about Vampiro.
Oh my, if they do not get deep into the lore of... I'm never going to remember the name of the movie. Whatever happened to Vampire the Night Hunter?
Night Warrior.
Thank you. Whatever happened to Vampiro Night Warrior? If they don't get deep into the lore of that and the mannequins he has sex with, I'm at a gasp for words. And if you're not familiar with whatever the hell I'm talking about, you got to dig into our Straight to Patreons.
Yes, but we did release that episode last year for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, it's in the free feed.
Yeah, you're listening to this, just go back last year, you'll find it.
Baby, we're giving you gifts and gifts and gifts and gifts. I'm very excited.
That one is just a full story about him trying to like find his car or something. But like there's
Dude,
demons.
where's my Vampiro?
Yes, there's demons and such involved. And in these, it harkens back to the Lucha films of yesteryear. That is their conceit. That's what they're doing. So like there's Rey Mysterio, what do you, an enziguri scissor kick? What happens when you like lock your legs onto someone and whip them away?
Oh, that would be a head scissors.
Okay, yeah, he does that to a cat god.
That's so I got a couple trains running at once. That's amazing. First of all, that's amazing. And I'm not going to get into how the cat god Beirut should have turned me back onto the new Dragon Ball Z, but really it just kind of emphasized how much I had grown past Dragon Ball Z as far as how it presented the stories. It was just a little too slow for me nowadays. But shout out to Dragon Ball Z. I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to get into is that's amazing, and it's so exciting. Especially excited for the Lucha Brothers one. And James, have you kept up with Lucha Brothers like news? Because they have been in the news a lot lately. I don't think I've seen anything concrete, but it looks as though they are both about to sign to the WWE.
Whoa.
Which is wild. Yeah. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but I'm kind of really excited to see what that's going to look like.
Yeah, but if you are into comic books or you're just into luchador stuff, go to your local comic book store. You can subscribe through Previews World, the pull box there, or you can go to Massive Comics Publishing. That's who's publishing the comic and distributing it. You can directly order all the variants, whatever one you want. There is a dope-ass one with just like the Lucha Brothers on the like sitting back to back with like some like demon in the background. It kicks ass, man. So I'm going to be reading these, then handing them off to Sean.
I'm so curious, especially because to see like how they dig into Lucha Brothers lore. I'm so excited to read those. This is going to be so sweet. And of course, there is a
Conan one that focuses on him, and he's hinted at,
Conan.
meaning I think he's like the leader of some elite co-op group trying to take down these demons and whatnot. And because they're like, oh yeah, we got to tell Conan, like, this is what went down.
And instead, they tell Conan what's going down, and instead of doing anything helpful, he just kind of doubles down on some really rough takes he's been on the news for again.
Hey, guys, I would really love to get the people involved in these comics on the show. So, I don't know, Sean, maybe not once I bring up that, he's going to have something you say like, hey, man, he's
literally been in the news all week for some of these takes.
What are the takes?
Oh gosh.
And you want to know what? Comic books are written and starting to be produced like 4 or 5 months in advance. So,
Yeah, no, I'm just saying this, but the podcast comes out this week.
Actually, it'll come out next week because someone was super late. Don't have time to edit it today.
All right. Welcome into episode 12 of season 3. Every woman is a sexy. Every woman is a star.
Every woman is a sexy?
Listen, I was transitioning for my life out there. I was getting into the episode for my life over here. And every woman is a new champion. This episode is coming right off of the heels of Aztec Warfare 3, where we crowned a brand new Lucha Underground champion, who is Sexy Star. Yeah, Sexy Star is the champ. She defeated not Matanza. Rey Mysterio defeated Matanza, but then Sexy Star won the match overall, the big Aztec Warfare match. She went over Mil Muertes in the end. Put him through a dang old table. So we've got new champions. We've got Killshot and Fox still going at it. We've got a whole bunch of recap. We got a whole new temple with a whole lot of old feuds going into it, which is just...
some new ones starting. I'll say this episode was nothing but banger match after banger match after banger match. And it ends in, if you gave me a million years to be like, hey, how's this episode gonna end? Would never be able to.
Did not expect that any of it. Had such a great time. Am absolutely in love with a couple of brand new wrestlers. Which the episode starts off with one last little promo. We get an empty ring, smoky lights, and the White Rabbit. At first, I thought they said White Rabbit Cult. They did not, but they are still in my notes. The White Rabbit Tribe are here, which has been for weeks leading up to this Paul London and 2 mysterious masked wrestlers. Paul London, just doing some freaky shit, I think is the most technical way to describe their performance here.
And do you know who the other 2 wrestlers are?
I do. Do you know who the other 2 wrestlers are?
I do not.
All right. Just the promo is kind of the same thing Paul's been saying for weeks. And I said this last time. I think I've even more in this little promo. It is shocking. If you are familiar with Seth Rollins, how much influence the modern Seth Rollins character is taking from Paul London. Especially as the episode goes on, I'm not the only one to like compare them and Paul London to like a cult leader. I know Matt and Vampiro does it a lot. And Seth's modern take, his modern character, started as a cult leader. He was trying to become a cult leader. So it's just very interesting. I hope they're cool with each other. You know, like I hope there was a phone call like, hey, Paul London, you're an amazing influence, and I'm going to kind of use some of your Lucha Underground character. Is that all right? And Paul's like, of course, Seth Rollins, I love you. Hey, I'm having hot dogs over. We're cooking them on the grill. Why don't you come over? And then Seth will be like, I would love to come over for hot dogs with you, Paul London. And then they come over, they cook hot dogs, and they high five, and they talk about portraying cult characters in the context of professional wrestling television. I hope that's what happened.
And then CM Punk shows up and says, where's my due? What about the straight edge society? And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. They, like give handshakes, fist bumps, whatever. And then the ghost of Charles Manson comes and he's like, well, what about me, fellas? And they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, that wasn't a character. You were just a real piece of shit.
And he says, no, I was really trying to be a character. The people just took it too seriously. Like that kid or that dude who read Catcher in the Rye. That wasn't the author's fault.
Wait, but you were there the night of. You were there pointing at people going, that would be cool to kill.
No, I was
J.D.
strumming
Salinger
a tune.
wasn't there.
I was strumming a tune, and then they just took the lyrics.
No, then you put down the guitar long enough to say, hey, don't actually go into that house and stab people, you silly bastards.
I did.
Oh, really? That's why they went into that house and stabbed people? Charles Manson.
I have it on recording because I left the tape going.
Charles Manson. The only thing more embarrassing than being a cult leader responsible for the murders of others is not owning up and taking responsibility for your actions. Okay, buddy. All right. So what did you do?
I told people to kill people.
Yeah, you did, Charles.
But we were all tripping on acid, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here. We're recording a podcast. We'll save a hot dog for you later.
Well, speaking of cylindrical shaped objects, during this promo, Paul London.
You got it showed. I feel that.
He starts. What? He's got a chode?
I said, you got a chode.
Oh, no. He has a carrot in his hand and just start beating someone with it. And I will be pissed if they do not go up against the what have we been calling them? The fire dragon and, that guys?
Space Fire and Brimstone, they were called this week.
Yeah, what were we calling them? The Timeless Beings?
We call them Timeless Beings. We call them the most Sentai Ranger-like characters in the entire show. So Sentai Rangers works.
You know this team. I will be upset if...
The faces, really, of Lucha Underground. Aerostar, Drago, and Phoenix.
Yes, I will be upset if... this does not end in a feud where it is Drago versus Paul London, but Paul London comes out with nunchucks made of carrots.
Oh, James. Okay, we got to get into this. By the way, he's using the carrot also like a knife sometimes. Like he's using it as training as he just kind of whaps people in the head with it. It's the carrot, and then they link hands and they do almost like a what is that? Not like a merry-go-round. Round the Rosie. Thank you. But menacing. It's very odd.
It's a very Wicker Man, the first one.
I'm just, oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this character. We cut to the desk after that promo. Vampiro is in a very punchy, choking, silly mood today. Literally, he's just punching him in the Matt in the shoulder a whole bunch. Matt kind of reminds us we have a new champ, Sexy Star. Johnny is cashing in the gift of the gods on her tonight. But there's another championship match, and that's happening right now. Trios championship match. The aforementioned Phoenix, Drago, and Aerostar versus Paul London, Mala Suerte, and Saltador, a.k.a. the Rabbit Tribe. And interesting, and those other two members that are not Paul London, they're under masks. Mala Suerte, under the black mask with the black shorts, that is Mr. Cisco.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
And Saltador, in the checkered black and white mask and outfit, that is Mariachi Loco, who was also a member of the Faces of Death trio.
Uh-huh.
Which means that 2 out of 3 members of the Rabbit Tribe are former trios champions.
Whoa.
Yo.
Gold around, baby.
I mean, it's a good shot for what is quickly becoming my new favorite act in all of Lucha Underground.
They do something that truly made me laugh so hard. It is such a great, sketch that they did. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Ooh, okay. I'm just like, I just love everything about them. Like they have a knockoff White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane in their entrance. They come out looking like they just did poppers in the car on the way over. And it's just Paul London. So we described the other two outfits. Paul London is wearing all white with like the most codpiece going on. I think it's supposed to be very Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah,
the Droogies, yeah, like very Droogies, but like where I feel like that could look a little frumpy sometimes. That outfit could be a little like it doesn't really. It works on Paul London. Yeah. There is nothing frumpy about the way he sports this codpiece and blouse combo.
His is also glittered and a little bedazzled.
Oh yeah, Paul.
It hits the light so well.
Paul's bringing back the codpiece in the best way possible. We love to see it.
Man, if my cock hit the light well, I'd be confident in myself.
If my cock hit the light well, I'd be in danger of electrocuting my penis in that there open socket now.
Oh damn!
I knocked the light bulb out with my penis.
You never
I'm just tired of having a big cock, James. Can I tell you, I'm tired of having a big cock,
dude.
It's too much. I keep knocking out lighting fixtures, and I can't keep up with it anymore.
See, the thing is, when you're a kid, you want to stick a fork in an outlet. It's just made for it. But then you never really see a socket except up in the sky. But if you have now like a dome light that you put on a desk, that socket is now, you can put that on the wall and really go to town.
James, can I be honest? I don't actually have a big penis. I keep hitting the light off of my desk and on the ground. I'm not actually reaching the ceiling with my penis. I just keep knocking my penis into the lamp on my desk to feel like I'm a big man.
You better believe that if Da Vinci, I think it was Da Vinci, if there were light sockets when he was doing the Sistine Chapel, he'd be going,
I read that somewhere. That's true.
He loved just fucking ceilings. That's why he did
fucking
it.
That ceiling.
That's why there's a lady with boobies there, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm a motorboat them."
Speaking about a lady with boobies, I don't have a transition. I just want to real quick talk about how Vampiro's putting over the historical context as the Rabbit Tribe are making their entrance. Vampiro's putting over the historical context of warriors entering psychotic states with the help of drugs to do like war business. And as he's saying like, no, yeah, like warriors, there is historical context of like the Celtic berserkers, of like them like getting really high and doing a bunch of drugs. And I'm like, that seems interesting. And then they start doing their ring around the Rosie around Melissa Santos, who is a lady with boobies.
Okay, see, I was hoping that wasn't what you were going to transition, and then you did.
I wasn't. I didn't even. That wasn't even the transition. That's just a callback. It wasn't a good callback. I'm not proud of it. That woman is a mother of two, but as of this recording. But here we are now, and we can't look back. As they're doing the ring around the rosies, I'm like, they're on drugs. So
maybe that's why everyone I work with in retail always goes behind the store and gets stoned, because they're like, man, this is for battle.
They're warriors. Of course, they're warriors in the name of capitalism. The best kind of warriors out there.
Someone I work with was like, oh, James, you're on your phone during work. Oh, I'm going to write you up. And I was like, you and everyone else just goes behind the store and gets stoned like 3 times a shift. And they're like, yeah, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I was joking, but you bring up good points.
Hey, shouts out to everyone getting high at work. You do what you got to do. I'm not mad at you.
I could not imagine trying to do what I do there stoned, unless it's like, hey, James, go downstairs and just organize all the Archies and Disney and Gold Key stuff that you want to organize, which, man, I didn't tell you this. I found a first appearance Vampironica. It's like Betty and Veronica 260 or 261. And I was
I did not realize Veronica had a vampire arc.
Yeah, she looks like Vampirella.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah. Veronica, don't get me wrong. I'm excited and I'm happy for you. I'm still a Betty guy. And I'm going to be in the bottom of my heart.
Oh, yeah, Betty, top notch, guys.
Easily.
But
come on now.
I'm getting so into Archie, we don't have time, but
we don't. I
show it to Craig, and Craig's like, "Oh man, I might want that." I was like, "Yeah, let me look up what this is going for." I was expecting maybe like $10. I was like, "Dude, don't buy this. It's $250," and those fuckers were telling me none of that stuff's worth anything, and it's in pristine condition.
Let's go. James, you do a lot. That place knows how much you do and they love you for it.
No, they're like, get stoned or we're not going to enjoy you, James.
Oh, no, they're peer pressuring you?
Uh-huh.
James, just remember, what would Archie do? Because I feel like when Archie's not fighting monsters and demons, it's an after-school special pretty much over there in Riverdale.
No, it's not, man. The books are horny as fuck, okay?
You can do an after-school special that's horny as fuck.
No.
Oh, man, I just got my dick wet, and I'm going to say no to drugs.
No. Archie's main thing is, I am here to support my friends. So he would be like, yeah, guys, get stoned in the safety of our store and the safety of your homes. And if you're doing it, maybe I'll do it. But you want to know, I'll be the designated driver.
I was going to say, I feel like Archie would be like all that and be like, hey, have fun. I'll be the designated driver, which is very much you of someone like, yeah, no, get stoned at the back of the store. Uh-huh. Sean, you want to hit your nicotine pen in the apartment? That's okay. And I'll drive you home, but not really.
And if anyone comes after what I've been saying about the store I work at, just know everyone who works in the service industry besides me is coming to work stoned or drunk or just housing cigarettes back behind wherever all day.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing I wanted to say is like, because I think you and I get stoned in very similar ways. I can't get high with other people 99% of the time.
Yeah.
I get very in my head. I get very like if I was to go back and like organize stuff, sure, why not? I can live in my own head in that place. Mm-hmm. What else am I doing back there? But if I had to like form a coherent sentence in front of another human being, I would die. I'm
super nervous because usually I just get like really horny when I'm high. We've started the Resident Evil movies on Death to Squids in this feed. The first episode is so funny, guys. Please check that out if you haven't. But
hell yeah.
I'm afraid because those movies are horny as hell. I'm afraid I'm gonna say to Jose, you gotta leave for maybe 15 minutes, and he'll say, "No, James, no." But real quick to go back to Archie, no one actually me to say like, "Oh no, like Archie does do after school specials." Not in main continuity, I don't believe. He did get licensed out to Christian publishers, and they made their own Archie stories, and those ones are sought after. They're not expensive, but we have some at the store. Go to Chicago Comics off from Belmont and Clark.
Chicago Comics, baby.
Oh, no, go back to your Buffalo accent. Say it how you were about to say it.
Chicago Comics, baby. White Rabbit Tribe are here. The Rabbit Tribe are here. By the way, after the sunglasses come off, just running back to them being high, Paul London takes off his sunglasses and immediately reacts too strongly to the light. They are leaning into the high thing very much. They are everyone else at all of the jobs you and I have worked at, except for us.
I'll actually have a little pushback on here. Unrealistic what he did. You want to know why? Light that goddamn arena a little bit more, guys.
Well, it was the transition from their entrance lighting to the in-match lighting.
Well, even the in-match lighting is shit.
Your shit. I'm sorry, James. I just have very strong feelings about the lighting of Lucha Underground, and I took it out on you, and that was not fair.
It should be something in between seasons 2 through 3 and season 1. Season 1 was super brightly lit. Let's get an in-between, and then it would be perfect.
Okay. I don't even have time to agree or disagree with you. The champions make their way to the ring. It is the aforementioned Space Fire Brimstone. That is Aerostar, Drago, and
that
Phoenix.
TV show. Oh.
What?
That TV show Brimstone that aired on Fox?
Yep, and the TV show, the third member of the Trios Champions, the TV show Brimstone that used to air on Fox. It's a strong, Rabbit Tribe looks strong as hell. They're, like, again, these guys are the faces of Lucha Underground. We talked about Phoenix earlier. Very excited to see what always excited to see Phoenix wherever he is, whatever company he's wrestling for. Mm-hmm. But the three of them, Aerostar, Drago, their best of 5 series in season 1. Like, they have been arguably the faces of the brand for a very long time. And to see these guys the Rabbit Tribe look so strong against them in their debut is very interesting to me. The first thing they do is they clear the ring, and then they all get their dives to the outside on.
Mm-hmm.
Except even like Phoenix, like halfway through, Paul London cuts him off midair with a super kick and then gets his dive on. It's fucking nuts.
I will say about this, so people, and I'm like, even people who act or people who make movies, when talking about, hey, let's reboot this TV series, people behind the scenes will be like, okay, but what justifies the reboot? What story can we do that this story was already done? What justifies a legacy sequel or a reboot? What does that? This match justifies the not the gimmick, but the style, the format of a trios match. This is not just a great match. This is a great trios match in the sense that everyone was working together to get in hits. It was never just one person in the ring doing their stuff and, oh, I'm going to slap your hand, they get in there. This is nonstop trios action.
Yeah, that's very true. And you see, I mean, the champions have been trios for some time. We talked before about their legacy in PWG. I think they have also won Chikara Gold at this point. They are a very well cemented team. Drago, Aerostar, and Phoenix. And then, like, I don't know what Paul London's just been such a very well-versed wrestler. Like, he's wrestled all over the world at this point. This is Paul London after being released from WWE. And before WWE, he was wrestling, I'm pretty sure, everywhere. I want to say he was one of those early Dragon Gate USA guys. But, like, really just wrestled a lot. And he's teaming with 2 former trios champions. Not in character, but in name, in actual being, the actual wrestlers.
Dragon Gate is also the name of when Spyro the Dragon he started giving orbs to Ripto.
Yeah. It was very illegal. It was very shocking, heartbreaking, that Dragon Gate. Thank you so much, James. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. This is and we get one of the most devastating trios maneuvers I've ever seen, where it's Saltador and Paul London, they're holding up Phoenix, who at this point had just been Ring Around the Rosie Don, which is, you're in the middle of a championship match. I love that you're taking the time to get your Ring Around the Rosie in, you weird bastards.
It would make me scared of these people if they started doing that. I'd be like, oh no, like, you can't fight crazy. Like, Hey Arnold taught us. I would get out of the ring and leave.
Absolutely. And like, I cannot stress, if you are a fan of Seth Rollins and what Seth Rollins has been doing, it's like you owe it to yourself to check out some of this Paul London run. And if you're not, you've never heard of Seth Rollins, you still owe it to yourself to check out this Paul London run. He's phenomenal with it.
Steve Barnes is listening to this and goes, I've never heard of either of them.
Yeah, no, if you've never heard of either of them, you owe it to yourself to check out this Paul London run. He's doing so much. But yeah, they hit the Ring Around the Rosie. Paul London and Salvador take Phoenix's arms. They hold him up. Mala Suerte goes to the top rope. And they're holding him up to him. He says, go back. So they take a few steps back. And then Mala Suerte says, go back some more. They take a couple more steps back. He says, no, keep going. So they keep going. They keep going until they hit the other side of the ring. And he just kind of jumps off, not like towards them, just kind of like jumps down, runs over at them. And I think it hits like a clothesline or something. Something like nothing. It's the dumbest.
It's really funny, and commentary
so
saying like,
stupid.
you gotta be on drugs in order to think you're going to go from jump from one corner to the opposite end corner, and then he just jumps down, runs up, and I think he like boots him in the face or something.
Yeah, it was like he hits a move and it's great, but it's something that did not have to be. It is very unnecessary. It's a dad joke. It's like the daddiest of dad jokes.
Vampiro goes, you've never been down the rabbit hole. If you'd understand this. And it's like, I don't think so.
Yeah. And it's not just to me, because I don't want it to turn into a just drugs things, which we're not doing, obviously.
They're doing.
Yeah, but they're not always good on commentary, James. And that's okay. One of the things I think that's important to kind of accept with Lucha Underground is accepting that Matt Stryker is here. And that's all. When he's good,
fine.
he's great.
It's fine.
When he's good, he's great. And when he's insisting on the joke, it's rough.
The Vampiro said that.
Yeah, I know. But I just wanted to shit on Matt Stryker for a second.
Oh, my God. Moving on.org.
So one of the things they also hit on, which I love, is because I love lore and I love power. They speculate on the power. I think it's in one of the reversals. Like Phoenix is trying to get back on, and Paul London sort of reverses it. No, I'm sorry. Aerostar is trying to get back, and Paul London reverses it. Aerostar ends up hitting his own man and ends up hitting Phoenix. And they speculate on the powers of luck. That the Rabbit Tribe have certain luck powers. Think like early Scarlet Witch, that they can manipulate luck. I really hope they dig into that, because it's neat. And we talked about the tribes that represent the ancient Aztec tribes. There are several. Drago and Cobra Moon are part of the reptilian tribe. There are several different tribes going on. Puma is part of the cat tribe, I imagine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love if they did have like different powers. Like, again, this is the rabbit tribe. They can affect the outcome of luck-based results. They can kind of skew them one way or the other. I don't know. I like that. Maybe I'm just a big fan of Wanda. Maybe I'm trying to get my Disney Plus password so I can check out that Agatha All Along show. Who's to say?
Yeah, and the dragon tribe just can make you horny.
Yeah, they can.
The moth tribe makes you feel unsettled. That's their power. The moth tribe, their power is like, wow, this room just got real empty.
Oh.
Because everyone's like, oh, those freaks are here. They're brother and sister, but it seems like they want to kiss.
Oh, I was going to say because everyone just ran to the merch stand to buy them some Marty the Moth and Mariposa merchandise.
Okay, all right.
Hey.
To get signed because those fuckers are there.
Yeah.
And now they're doing doing impressions of Adam West.
All right, we got to focus. Also, during this match, Cobra Moon appears. Cobra Moon, who has been, for weeks leading up to Aztec Warfare, and it looks like going in after, has just been hounding and stalking Drago, former tribes member Drago, who left their tribe hundreds of years ago. But Cobra Moon is here. She's on top of Dario's office, her favorite little spot to just watch the match.
Yeah, Cobras famously love to be up high.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix gets an opportunity for the hot tag, but there's also this other bit where like Phoenix finally has an opportunity for the hot tag. He's like crawling to his corner, but Paul and Saltador rip off the partners and they hop back up onto that corner, and now they're in the corner reaching for the tag for Phoenix. And which, by the way, this is not, if you're wondering, that doesn't sound like it's according to the rules. It's not. They're cheating. These sneaky little bastards.
It was so good. But it would have been funny if he tagged and then it's just the two legal men are on the same team.
I think the reason I brought that up is it wouldn't be the legal men. The referee would be like, that clearly is not a legal tag. I mean, you can go ahead and all three of you can get in the ring and kick him in the head, which is what they do. Because I can't stop you, you ripped off his tag team partners. But just so you know, what you're doing here is not a legal maneuver. Get out of this is yeah.
This was the bit that I said it was so funny, a perfect bit. I loved it.
It's a great bit. Phoenix eventually rolls through Saltador's back suplex. Eventually, they start fighting back. It is the way they come back. I don't think Phoenix ever gets to tag out, but it's his trio members coming in and them all working together. We get this massive arm-assisted arm drag into the corner from Phoenix and Aerostar, just like using each other as battering rams. Drago is flying all over the place, taking care of all the corners. Phoenix then rolls through Saltador's back suplex. It's a European wrist clutch pin to win the match. Phoenix wins the match for his team, retains the Trios Championships, 6 minutes and 44 seconds. After the match, Cobra screams at Drago on the mic. Soon he will bow before his queen. But yeah, I think we agree. Great match. Really good wrestling shit.
You forgot to mention, Drago says, "You mean Queen Elizabeth? Where is she?"
No, we're not giving Drago a Cockney British accent. We can't do that.
He worships the Queen of England, who is alive at taping.
Yep, it was not. Yeah, great. We come back to the locker room. Sexy Star is polishing her belt when BFF Mac, he still can't believe it. He's like, that belt should be mine. I'm just playing.
Come here and give me a hug.
Yeah, they're friends. They've been friends
so cute.
For a while. Yeah, they're his sweeties. Mac heard about Johnny's cashing in tonight, cashing in the gift of the gods for a title opportunity. And Mac says he will not allow him to steal the Lucha Underground title the way he stole Sexy's gift of the gods title. He's been using a lot of nefarious means, this here Johnny Mundo. So Mac offers to be in Sexy's quarters tonight to take the worldwide underground to Stunner Town. However, Sexy declines. She has to do this alone to show the world this is no fluke. She deserves this. Now, is this friendship and respect or foolish pride? We will find out in the main event.
Real quick, because we're talking about Willie Mack, in the description of the Vampiro comic, it's like, oh, there's going to be demons, girls, cars, this, that, clowns, this, that. And we're like, that means juggalos. There has to be juggalos in this. And if Mac is there, I'm going to lose my shit.
Honestly, Mac should be in more comics. If there is not at least one comic in this, like one Superman, where he's just getting overpowered by Doomsday or Darkseid and he can't do anything about it, and then somebody says, I think it's time I took you to Stunner Town. And then Superman looks over to the right and the Mac is in the doorway and he just takes him to fucking Stunner Town. Superman would be back. Bring back Superman, but also make sure Mac is there as well.
Hey guys, just so you know, there's multiple Superman ongoing series going on right now.
And they all should have the Mac.
Okay, but I guess like in a way, like that's what brings him back into the lexicon.
Is Willie Mack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or, just have him in this Luchaverse.
Yeah, okay. But have him everywhere. You know what? Let him show up in Archie.
Yeah, my God, that'd be great.
Let Archie be like, you know what? Maybe it is time I try marijuana. And Willie Mack shows up and he's like, hold on. There's nothing wrong with marijuana, but you're only 16 years old. Your brain is a little too young for that stuff.
Okay.
And then Archie will be like, that's a good point, Willie Mack. I'll try it when I'm like 21. And Willie Mack gives like, all right. And then he flies away because now Willie Mack can fly.
Okay. You could also do this. It would be a lot better is Archie has like the Ringmaster on vinyl or like on cassette. Yeah, because that it's anachronistic. And then a luchador mask in one. And he's like, which one's going to give me more confidence, being a juggalo or being a professional wrestler? And then Willie Mack shows up and he says, why not both? I did it. And then Willie trains Archie to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
And a proper juggalo.
Mine was like a callback to like Archie not being an after school special. Yours is just an actually good Willie Mack comic. Like if we were to bring Willie Mack into the Archieverse, that's how we do it. In the mid-card, Dante Fox versus Killshot. This has been going back for a while. Quick recap is Dante claims to Matt that Killshot left him for dead. They were soldiers in the same troop. That's not the word. In the same company.
Battalion.
What?
Battalion.
I thought you said Italian. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
They were partners in the same battalion.
They were in the same battalion. Killshot left them for dead in a POW camp. However, Fox did not die. He found his way to Lucha Underground and he's here for revenge.
And Sean, ISIS beware. They're jumping out of trees.
This match is good. Matt Stryker is bad at commentary.
Guys, Sean just has bad opinions on things.
No. All right, we can either talk about the match or we can talk about this. And I think this is worth talking about.
No, let's talk about the match.
Okay. Match is great. They're very good wrestlers, and there's a lot of heat between them. The bell rings. Killshot's immediately. After this, we're done. We're good. And Fox is like, no, fuck you. That's not part of this. I'm not saying we're good. And he starts like shoving him. Mm-hmm. And it's just Killshot being like, no, please. We need to move on with our lives.
Yeah.
And it's not that. And every twist, every turn, they know each other so well. Which makes sense. They served together. They were in a POW camp together. And
we should say that in the beginning of this match, Dante Fox walks out first and silence. No one, he is the enemy here. No one likes him because Killshot is so over right now. When Killshot comes out, crowd explodes. We need to know that because there is about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the match. What's the move he does, Dante Fox? It's like he does this backflip thing off the middle rope onto the ground.
Yes, they're fighting on the outside. The outside becomes a major area of battle for them. Killshot gets thrown out there. Fox hits a suicide dive through the ropes. He hits a second one. He goes for the third. Killshot's like, no, stop jumping at me from the ring. You can't do three in a row. Mm-hmm. And so Killshot's trying to fight his way back into the ring. But Fox guards the ring from Killshot. He knocks him down, and it's a running springboard shooting star press from the top rope to the outside. And yeah.
Immediately the crowd gets won over. They're like, holy shit, because yes, absolutely. Anyone who does that for your entertainment deserves praise. So it's just immediately he gets won over, and it's now not a bad guy versus good guy match. It is these two people. We don't give a shit who wins. They are providing us with the greatest form of entertainment.
Oh, yeah. And Dante Fox, a.k.a. AR Fox, is just the fact that he still moves like that is so impressive. He's so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, Killshot has changed his style a little bit just as he took off the mask and he became Swerve Strickland and sort of embraced that side of his character. Still incredibly impressive. But at this stage of both of their careers, and obviously AR Fox, gained new things and they've both grown. But to see at this stage of their careers, both of them just naturally almost mirroring each other in their aerial, in the way they do strike exchanges, it's so good, and it feels so natural. I'm pretty sure they've been working together on the indies at this point for some time. Mm-hmm. These are I don't think they met at Lucha Underground. I'm 95% certain about that, or I'm just really confident. Who's to say? But it's so cool to see that because in storyline, yeah, they should wrestle like each other. They have the same training. They have the same background in so many ways. Really, they have verbatim the same background, but a minor difference. Killshot got away, Fox did not. That's really the only difference between these two guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, in storyline.
In storyline. Killshot escaped and Fox did not immediately escape. We don't know how he got out, right? Uh-huh. No. But yeah, so to see them and they keep meeting each other. We're going to kind of move ahead on this one because we're running out of time. Definitely worth your watch. But to see I know they mirror hip ups at some points. They mirror evasions. They're the way it's that you two are so similar, but you also have a lot of reason to hate each other. Or I guess Fox to hate Killshot.
Yeah. There was also a situation where I believe Fox slams Killshot on the apron, but then Killshot does like a neck breaker on the apron, like to Fox, and slams him on the ground. Yeah, you're right. Like, it is kind of like a dueling dragons of Universal Studios.
That's I love that. This is a very dueling dragons situation. But I think if there's one thing that Fox has over Killshot is that Fox wants to hurt Killshot more than Killshot wants to hurt Fox.
And at the end of the day, that's what matters, guys.
And it goes a long way. Killshot does get the double stomp after like this crazy Death Valley driver, but only for a 2.9. Killshot is very frustrated. That's when after that is when we get the mirror kip ups. Fox combos his springboard Spanish fly into the Fox catcher. He catches the win of this match, 8 minutes and 7 seconds.
Loved it.
And the crowd have been hot all match. After the match, though, you get they echo the temple with "That was awesome" chants. As we cut to Dario's office, as Dario struggles with a pen, the "That was awesome" chants can still be heard. Johnny storms in. He has got some strong words against Angelico's interference at Aztec Warfare. One of the big reasons the Worldwide Underground did not win the title at Aztec Warfare was the interference of Angelico doing yet another dive from the office onto the trio. What the fuck?
So in a lot of media, Jason Voorhees, same thing happens every single time. Like, you start getting tired of it. I'm going to be honest. If there is not an Aztec Warfare and a Ultima Lucha where Angelico does not do this, I'm going to be upset.
You want to see him one more time?
No, I want to, every single time I want to see him do that, like what we would call the pay-per-views of this, even though they were just regular episodes. He's been doing them every single time since he started doing them. So yeah, he needs to continue doing it. He doesn't need to up the ante. He doesn't need to do anything like that. The only way you could up the ante is like more people in the ring. Like, he somehow takes down in an Aztec Warfare. There's 19 people somehow still in the ring. He takes them all down.
It's so weird to me because I got introduced to Angelico as a member of Hybrid 2.0. His tag team with Jack Evans in AEW. By that point, the tag team the dynamic was Jack Evans is the high flyer. He'll dive off of the stuff. And then Angelico has been a master of Llave, sort of Mexican submission wrestling, and a lot of like Nas and tie-ups. So like, he's not really doing those dives anymore. So to see him do like these dives, I'm just like, wow. I'd just be happy seeing you do a headlock because you got really pretty headlocks. But okay, I'll take this too. I'm not mad.
It probably is a situation where Angelico might be married and Jack Evans is not. And Angelico's spouse is saying, hey, you got to stop doing those. I don't like seeing you do those.
Jack Evans, I know for a fact Jack Evans is married. I don't think Angelico is.
Okay, then maybe like his mom saying, please stop doing those. I don't like it.
It might also just be like he's got a very naturally long body, Angelico, which is really good for let me tie you up in several different knots. So it might just be him leading it, and less good for like doing like I feel like it's a little easier to dodge gravity, if you will. Like if you've got a shorter frame, okay, you can just get a little high. You can do a little bit more flips in the air. So I think it might just be him sort of leaning into his body type.
Okay.
Johnny storms it. He's mad. Johnny is mad at Angelico. Dario, however, and he's getting the entire time he's challenging Dario's dominance of the temple. Dario's like, no, this is my temple. I am in charge here, Johnny, not you. Johnny gives him actually, Johnny's like, the law is in charge now. Did you get that fax from my agent/lawyer? Johnny has a restraining order against Angelico. And while he's not here tonight, Angelico that is, Dario warns Johnny that eventually Angelico will be back, and there's only so much that your lawyer's little paper will be able to do to protect you from him. Johnny's like, yeah, well, when that day comes, I'll take him to Slamtown. He said the line! But as for now, I have a date, glasses flip, with Destiny. And they have one of the best exchanges I've ever heard in my life. Johnny says, what a jerk. Or no, excuse me, Dario says, what a jerk. Johnny says, what a jerk. Did you say something? Nothing. What a prick.
Yeah, but you forgot the previous thing.
Don't have
real
time.
Quick, which was Johnny goes, oh, you look smarter than you look, and Dario goes, excuse me, and he's like, oh, no, nothing, like immediately backs down, and hey, if I knew Angelico was there that night, I would have put him in the match. And Johnny's like, oh, yeah. And then Dario goes, yeah, I would have put him in place of you. Johnny is so small compared to Dario, but wishes to be bigger.
I don't know if I totally see that, actually. Not that he's small. I think it's Johnny. To me, it's Johnny is playing the game. Johnny understands that Dario's still signing paychecks. So he's taking bites and he's taking nips at him every chance he can, but he realizes this is not the time to strike.
But he constantly cowers. That's the thing.
I see, and that's where I disagree. I don't see it as cowering. I see it as picking his spots.
All right.
Honestly, either interpretation, though, is valid. This is art, baby. What do you think Johnny is doing? Let us know in the comments, or tattoo it on your torso and send us a picture. Your thoughts on Johnny and Dario's ongoing rivalry, which is and they're both bad guys. That's the other thing, that they're both villains, but everyone is competing for power. So they are, and like as much as they both are bad guys, they want different things, which is each of them at the top of the dog pile.
I would laugh if Johnny Mundo, if I made this a clip, he comments on it saying, I would have eaten Dario for lunch. And then Dario messages comments saying, excuse me. And then he says, I am so sorry. I'm going to delete that last comment.
No, but that's the thing. The other thing is Johnny never admits that he said anything. He's always like, what? Nothing.
Okay, so then it would have to be on Facebook, and he edits the comment and he says, what are you talking about, Dario?
And then Mark Zuckerberg gets involved and we say, Mark, get out of here. Go hang out with Charles Manson. You two are not that different.
Hey, we're pretty different, okay? Please don't. Yeah. He's a creep. I at least had vision.
You know what, Charles? At least you admitted you did wrong, we all make mistakes. If you can admit you did wrong, that means you're growing. You're still a weird bastard, but I'm saving a hot dog for you. But we got to get through this podcast, Charles. We go to commercial, cut back from commercial, back at Dario's office. Dario's walking down the hall. He's swiping his nose. He opens the door to his own office and sees Black Lotus sitting behind the desk. She is here for Pentagon Dark, for herself and for the Black Lotus tribe. They want to show Pentagon how they've earned the reputation for being the most feared group in the Far East for centuries. Dario is familiar with their reputation and would love to see them all in action against Pentagon in a gauntlet match. And Black Lotus, she's like, I don't know. What do you want? I don't know about this one. We're trying to murder this guy. And Dario's like, I get that. Listen, win or lose, the match does not end until Pentagon faces all members of the Triad. So if Pentagon, he gets knocked out, he gets pinned, the next Triad member enters the ring.
Oh, I didn't get that point. That's dope.
That's what he meant by win or lose. The next Triad member kicks his head in and he's just got a neck for a stump and a body. The third Triad member will still come in. Win or lose, all members of the Triad will face Pentagon Dark. Dario asks Lotus to consider this a welcome home gift. And then we get into, it's going to be hot. Because I forget, I don't know if we mentioned it. I don't remember who they were now. I know Io Shirai, who will become Io Sky in the WWE, is one of the members of the Triad. It's like it's two other like legendary members of the Joshi community of women wrestlers in Japan. It's gonna be fucking hot.
My only quick thing about this, my only complaint was they kept saying the full name Black Lotus Triad to the point where it's like, well, now it's becoming cheesy because you keep saying it. Like, abbreviate it, do something. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that's just BLT. But just say the Triad.
Maybe that might work, yeah. I guess especially because her name is Black Lotus. But maybe that's part of it. The group, group mind, improv, Jeff Garland, baby.
But if you're writing something, you are going to use pronouns or you don't want to say like Sean Marciniak walked into a bar. Sean Marciniak sat down. Sean Marciniak said, a drink waiter. And Sean Marciniak got drunk.
Now, I know that's bad writing, but you doing that just gave me a huge boost of confidence. So maybe we start, I'm just saying, maybe you start using my full name every time and I feel like a big strong man.
I think you mean we being Sean Marciniak and James McCollum start doing that because Sean Marciniak would feel good.
Well, Sean Marciniak and James McCollum do got to get into this main event tonight. Lucha Underground Championship, Sexy Star versus Johnny Mundo. A lot was going on into this, so a quick recap. Johnny, after feuding and kind of like tormenting Sexy for a couple weeks now, Johnny eventually wins the Gift of the Gods title from Sexy Star under nefarious means. However, shortly after, Sexy wins the Lucha Underground title in Aztec Warfare.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Johnny, the night of Aztec Warfare, decided he was going to cash in his Gift of the Gods just in case. So he has cashed in his Gift of the Gods title tonight for an opportunity to challenge for the Lucha Underground Championship. The Gift of the Gods will be vacated, win or lose. Whew. And that's the match. We ring the damn bell. Johnny cannot intimidate Sexy, who squares off and locks up with Johnny immediately. Zero fear. Johnny and Sexy, they mix it up in limb work. Johnny had the advantage before stomping the torsi of Sex. I almost said torsi of Sexo Star. The torso of Sexy Star. It's going to be a lot of Johnny for a lot of this match.
Oh, for the beginning, then there is a lot of great back and forth. But before that, as he's stomping her torsi, the commentary saying, hey, that torsi's getting stomped. Maybe a torsi needs to be a tortoise. They keep saying Sexy's got a turtle, she's just got a turtle. I'm like, that's not as cool as you think it sounds, guys.
No, wait, but they say it, they say it once. They say it a couple times?
Yeah, and also I think you mean you got an armadillo.
All right. It's a very specific story that
we've really talked about it before. We said it on this podcast.
Great. But no, turtle is that's a real thing in MMA. Like you turtle up, you try and you cover up as you're being ground and pounded. That's a real thing, James.
Oh, I always thought when you turtle it, you just become the least liked member of your group, maybe your entourage, if you will.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you were going to besmirch the phenomenal name of Master of Disguise.
No.
This is where you become the coolest member of your group, and you are more than turtle enough for the Turtle Club. Can this podcast just be about Master of Disguise?
I've never seen that movie, which it probably comes to a shock to a lot of people.
Yes, that movie is one of the most... James, he had to hear the news of 9/11 while wearing the turtle costume.
Yeah, I know.
That is the most important. If you learn nothing about cinema history in America except that Dana Carvey heard about 9/11 while preparing for the turtle scene, then held a moment of silence while in turtle costume for 9/11, which had happened earlier that day. If that's the only thing you learn about American cinema history, that's more than enough.
Hey guys, if we get a single $5 patron, we'll do it on the Patreon. Sean and I will discuss it.
Yeah. Sexy does find her openings with a few palm strikes. Looks for the top rope Bronco Buster. She gets countered by Johnny in the mid. It's hard every time when Johnny gets really serious. I don't think anyone can really beat him. He has the advantage on almost everyone in every category. He's faster than almost the entire roster. He's incredibly strong. He's incredibly technical.
He has leverage over most people because he is so tall.
Yes. If it wasn't for his love for air guitars, he would be unstoppable.
Which there was a lot of times during this match that I thought he was going to start showing off to the crowd. He never does. And that should have been an inkling of how this turns up. But there was a time when Sexy Star stands up and starts screaming at him, and mid-sentence he's like, fuck this, and just punches her in the gut with his kicks.
Yeah, he punches her in the gut with his foot. Some might call that a kick. Not here.
And during this, everyone's cheering for Sexy Star. I did see some kid, so they're cheering Sexy Star, and then he goes, sucks. And I liked that. And then there were 3 people chanting for Johnny Mundo, and I was like, that person looks familiar. Like their mouth and eyes look familiar. And like this is not too far into the match. I was like, oh, that's Taya there. She must not know if he's going to win or not. So she's like, hey, wait, I want to just be in the middle of this. So like if he wins, like I can see my spouse take the gold finally. This is going to be great. I just thought this was a spouse wanting to see their other half maybe take the gold. So I clocked that. And then I was like, oh, okay. She's a plant.
Damn, I did not. Oh my gosh. Wow. I did not clock her at all. Into the match, I so did not clock her. And as the match goes on, they spill to the outside. Johnny goes into the crowd. He like a real fiend. Now and you can from this point on, you're either James and you're clocking things left and right. You've slowed down time. You've got the Matrix on your side, or you're me, just rolling through life blissfully unaware until things happen. So Johnny goes into the audience. He steals a crutch from an audience member, like a real bastard would.
That's what I knew it was Taya, because I'm like, oh, she is injured right now.
Had no idea. I was just like, this fucking guy takes the crutch. Sexy takes the crutch from Johnny. Johnny avoids, runs back into the ring, hides behind the referee, who's like, you can't use the crutch. I know he started it. I'm ending it. So the referee takes the crutch. He goes to put it away. And that's when Sexy Star, going to check on the fan, who is on the ground wearing a Sexy Star mask, on the ground because Johnny took her crutch, throws a haymaker, a loaded punch with the brass knuckles, knocks out Sexy Star. Johnny rolls her into the ring. Fin de Mundo, 1, 2, 3, new Lucha Underground champion, 11 minutes and 8 seconds. It was Taya all along.
So when the haymaker was, I was like, you idiot. Of course she's here to fuck things up for Sexy Star, you dumbass.
I am not a dumbass. How dare you?
Well, no, me, because I clocked her. I was like, yeah, she's just here in the crowd. And okay. Oh, they're there to like give this is just the crutches here to like take out Sexy Star. And then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, she's just there to, turn the tides.
I'm sorry. I just now realized that you clocked it was indeed Taya, but did not clock whose side she was on.
I just thought she was there to hang out.
Yeah, she bought a ticket. She was excited to get some Moth and Mariposa merchandise, as we all are.
And I know like our views on Sexy Star in hindsight have changed, but
sure.
Right now, right here, we've heard people who were difficult in this Lucha Underground. Sexy Star was, from my knowledge, was not one of them. So I would like to say,
the Reddits I've been on, which is where we get all of our news. We're mostly a Reddit aggregator, as all wrestling podcasts are. I've heard a couple of things that Sexy was not the best to work with.
Okay, but regardless, this sucks for her. Unless this is like now, actually, it makes sense that she is the one to have gotten taken the belt at Aztec Warfare. If this creates a feud and now she is going after Johnny, this now justifies that. Now it is a cool thing that happened, because it just sucks that she had this and then the next week it goes away. And if they just say like, hey, Sexy Star, you're out of here, like we're not going to focus on you anymore, that just sucks. But if now she is like in the feud of the belt and she takes it again, I'm going to love what happened at Aztec Warfare.
We'll see what happens. Because don't forget, Phoenix was in this. I think Phoenix lost his first defense as well. But then would go on to do trio stuff. And like even if there's not a belt, this show is presented much more as a television show than as an athletic competition, right? So like even if Sexy goes on to a different feud or a different storyline, to me that's a little different than even WWE. where like it is that is more trying to present it as an athletic competition. This is more supernatural, right? This is more, there is something much deeper going on than being a champion.
You want to know
there
what
is literally an apocalypse happening under the surface.
You want to know what this is? Supernatural. It's hot people fighting demons.
This is hot people fighting demons. This is supernatural. This is Riverdale, baby.
It's the goddamn CW.
And you know what this has been? Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling on the Marshland Media Empire. If you want to dig into us a little bit more, why don't you go over to twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser. That's where you see me fucking up and doing shit. Am I going to play Twisted Metal Black this October? I keep saying yes, and then I forget how difficult that game is.
Is it?
I'm playing on easy. I can just to kind of practice. I can barely clear one fighter on easy.
Oh, wow.
But it's so good. I'm also plugging Twisted Metal Black. I think it's one of the most underrated horror games ever. Check it out.
You want to know? I'll get a Brady game strategy guide for that. It'll tell you how to beat them.
Yeah, because I need it.
Hey guys, head over to mlmpod.com to find out information about all my other podcasts. Listen to my music under Marshland Monster, new remix album with a lot of different producers of The Dragon and the Monster coming out at the end of October. And head over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month you get exclusive content every single Friday. Corey had to cancel, so I was sans any podcast a couple weeks ago. So I was like, I guess I'm going to go old talking about Beyblade style and do this by myself for the citizens of Townsville Z. And it was me. I was high with a voice modulator, and it's one of the best things. It's so funny and fun. Go check that out, guys. It's super stupid. And $10 patrons get all of that, plus monthly bonus exclusive content in the form of straight to Patreon. Sean and I watched one of the coolest movies we've ever seen called The Children, and he's coming over again, I think tomorrow, to discuss one of these other trauma movies we can dive into. You get that, and shout outs on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z. The Waz, Orion, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jakis, Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time and of Intro Void, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane, twitch.tv/Corwinning, it's Corwin, twitch.tv/R2 Shelby2, and from the Speed Radio podcast, a podcast and all things Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Zinny D. I've been James.
I've been Sean, and this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever, be like Bob.
I am not a crook.
What?
I don't know. I was giving peace signs to you, so that's what I did. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.